Hello travelers, I'm Timothy French. We're in Winton, North Carolina to continue on our quest to visit every town center in the state. So let's get started right here at this beautiful house they have as you enter town. Yeah, just an awesome house. I like them old houses like that. Got a few of them in town. Well, let's walk on down through here and check out their town center. A lot of history down in here. Got another beautiful house over here on the right. Yellow. And then they got the post office museum right there in what I imagine was the original post office. And then they got the new one right beside it. And then the town hall's over here on the left. Yeah, Winton, North Carolina. It's right here on the Chewan River. And it played a big role in its history as boats came back and forth up through there, moving products back and forth, and during wartime, moving warships back and forth. Today it's a quiet little town. But over the years, it's been quite busy. Had a good bit of action rolling through here during the Civil War as well. This town was raided by Union troops early on in the war and was the first town to be ransacked and burnt all the way to the ground. Every building, except maybe just a few. And they come in here and took things from people and just wreaked havoc. Like I said, burning to the ground. And that was done 2 years before Sherman made his march. And at that time, people were upset about them doing that, even all the way up as far as New York. And they, I think they did some things to the Union troops that did it. I don't know exactly what. Maybe demoted them or whatever. I'm not sure. History buffs would be able to tell you more about that than me. But yeah, that's rough when you come into a town and you burn the women and the houses down where the women and children live and all that. Historic district right here, Merchants Bank, 1913. Organized 1903. Anyway, can you imagine living here and all these houses you see here were, of course, built afterwards, but that Union boat come up that river and started slinging, I don't know if they could call them bombs or whatever, but anyway, cannonballs or whatever they used back then, up into the town, blasting away at them, and everybody running scared and this and that. Then they move in here and they set the whole town ablaze after they steal food and everything else they want. You can understand why people was upset about that. That's a beautiful house down there. Crossing the road here in East Main and Brickwell at the Grace, and I want to say Thyme or I don't know, Tim or Thyme, I don't know. I got it wrong, I'm sure. And regrettably, it is for sale. Well, I guess if you want to buy it, it's not regrettably. Looks like it was a nice little cafe at one time. Everybody goes out there and gotta have those same olds on out there on the exits and all. And nobody spends money in these cool little restaurants in these towns, and that's what happens. Out there picking up some nuts out there today off of that tree. You can see they have parking out here in the middle of the street as well. There's a lookout through there. Let me cross over before this car comes. Yeah, just a beautiful day out here in Hertford County. There's a look around. There's a little red. Yeah, Winton is the county seat. The courthouse is no longer down here. It's off up closer to the main road, a new building, I imagine. And they got a Civil War placard down here somewhere, but I think it's down by the river. That old house there has seen better days. Let's go on down here to Trine Street. Tell you what, if you want a nice, peaceful place to live, this would be it, I think. Let's go on down here a little further. I feel like walking. I don't know if anybody's in that one or not. And like I said, this is Hertford County. We did a town center video on the town of Hertford. That's a beautiful little town too. Department of Social Services over there. You can see all these houses. Cool looking. The river. If you go straight ahead, it takes a turn there and get to the river there. But I don't think there's no landing down there. I looked on the map. I think you got to turn over here on Cross Street to get to the landing. I may walk down there. Why not? It's a good day for it. We've turned on Cross Street now, and I noticed this monument in a graveyard right here. So that's interesting. Out by this newer looking building. So I don't know what was in that spot before. I don't think maybe the old courthouse was right here at one time. You guys live here, let us know. Love to hear from the locals. Nobody can talk about a town better than somebody that lives here themselves. That's for sure. There it is, Chuan River. The reason this town sits here, I imagine. The people built the town up on this hill because it was high enough to stay out of the floods, and they picked this section of river because it's deeper here and wider here. So let's go ahead and jump up ahead and take a look at it before we head on back to Rev. Getting closer. Looks like they got a park here on the right, and there's the Civil War Trail sign. Man, somebody's got a nice house right there on the river. Look at them, right? Let's see what it says up here. This is nice. I got a big crane out there that does something on that pier out there. All right, let's look. Winton, Old Bridge Park dedicated in memory of Carter W. Jones, Mayor of Winton, 73 to 86. So I guess it was a bridge that crossed right here one time. All right, the burning of Winton. Fire has accompanied the sword. The ruins of Winton, as it was illustrated back then. If you'd been standing here on the afternoon of February 19th, 1862, watching a Union gunboat approach the Winton dock, you would have been stunned when cannon and musket fire erupted from the heights behind you. Commander Stephen C. Rowan's 8 gunboat flotilla had steamed up the Chuan River toward Winton, carrying part of the 4th Road Inland Infantry and the 9th New York Infantry under Colonel Russ Hawkins aboard USS Delaware. Hawkins saw the glint of muskets on the hill and shouted orders to the gunboat's pilot to pull away. Confederate Colonel William T. Williams had concealed 400 infantrymen and Captain J. and Nicholas 4-gun battery on the bluff to blast the vessels with artillery and small arms fire. Instead, the cannons overshot and the bullet-riddled Delaware swept by the dock and escaped. That night, Winton's townspeople vetted Williams and his men as heroes. The next morning, Williams marched his troops away, followed by the town's residents. Shortly afterward, the gunboats returned and bombarded empty Winton. Hawkins, enraged by Williams' ambush, led his men into the town and to set it ablaze. With barrels of tar burning the courthouse, with the county records, only the Methodist church and 2 buildings belonging to Union sympathizers remained standing. Hawkins claimed that Confederates had used the buildings as storehouses and quarters, and boasted that the burning of Winton was the first instance in North Carolina during the Civil War where fire had accompanied the sword. Winton was rebuilt after the war. There you go. Yeah, tells a little bit more there, but I'm not going to read it all. Two sides of every story, I suppose. All happened right here. Let's go on down closer. Got a nice sidewalk here. Restrooms. So I guess the bridge went on across there at one time. And I'm assuming since all that Civil War action took place here, that before the bridge, there was just a landing here maybe, where everybody docked up and did their trade and all. And of course, the warships let loose. Man, I tell you what, it's a beautiful river. I don't know what this thing does. Do y'all? What's the purpose of this thing? Y'all tell me. But you can see somebody's got a big boat right there. You can go over there and sit and all. Ambushed them from the hill up there somewhere, I guess. And they got this house here. There's the bridge, new bridge up there. So I think we'll end it here at this beautiful river. I hope you enjoyed this walk and talk tour of Winton, North Carolina's town center, and a view of this beautiful river where a lot of history took place. If you did, I appreciate it. If you'd like, subscribe, and share. Y'all take care.